Thank you. Please have a seat. To welcome is to show honor. To welcome is to show establish integrity. I invite Mr. Sunil Kumar, CEO of Skalable Technology, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Hari. It's a great pleasure, pride, and happiness that we are celebrating Scalable Technology's 10th anniversary here in Chennai. As many of you know, I moved to California about 20 years back. And how much ever the technology brings you closer, my heart is always with the home country. And that is the very reason we are celebrating the 10th anniversary here in Chennai. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our chief guest, Dr. Mohan Kandagaru. I'd also like to thank our Scalable team and especially the family members who are here for all the services. I'd also like to thank my parents and the family back home who have been part of this journey. On September 24th, 2016, almost 2 years back, I read an article called Ethics in the Government by Dr. Mohan Kandagaru. And I was pretty impressed with the details. The details actually detail out the IAS academy training and some of the interesting stories. And I always felt the storytelling form has somehow missed, in the sense, it goes from a person to person, but nothing has been written in terms of books, so we miss a lot of this knowledge. And that is the very reason I wanted Dr. Mohan Kandagaru to be part of our celebrations. I'm privileged, sir, to have you here. Just to give a brief about Dr. Mohan Kandagaru. He was born in Chennai itself, and he has done his MSc Mathematics and PhD. He's of the IAS cadre. He passed out from the IAS Andhra Pradesh cadre in 1968, and he retired as the Chief Secretary of Government of India. There is quite a bit, in the list of his accomplishments. They're huge, and of those, he was a member of the National Disaster Management Authority with the rank and the status of the Union Ministry of State. He's held many assignments, district, state, central, and on the different side, he's also served as the president of Hyderabad Cricket Association. During his tenure, I have seen, I've read articles, and I have known from close quarters, there's this legendary status of clearing files in 8 seconds. That's what I heard from my dad. That's how fast he clears the files when it comes to him, and that shows the speed at which he's able to grasp the files and clear it off. I'll take this opportunity also to talk a little bit about scalable technologies. One of the things I always believe is the best way to predict the future is to create it. So Scalable, in 2008, if there was a financial crisis all around the world, including US. And that is when Scalable was born. So one of the things I always believed is we can create our own destiny, in the sense there is a part that we could do, there's a part that we can do, and we can control what we can. So that brings me to the next, one of my favorite quote, that is, God, give us grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed. So we cannot change certain things, just we need to accept that. And we need the courage to change things that can be changed, and also the wisdom to differentiate between the first two. Historically speaking, from Scalable perspective, we have always shown a sense of urgency. That has been our unique sort of a gene. What we do is, or one of the beliefs that I have is, for any effort or to make any changes of any magnitude, there is an urgency, and that urgency has to be high enough, and then the complacency has to be low enough to get the task done. And just like any other industry, software industry has gone through a lot of these changes since 2008, and at every part of this curve, we have been ahead of it. And I thank the team again. I would like to give yourself a round of applause for making these changes yourself, adapting to those changes and getting things done. One of the reasons how Scalable came about, as you know, many of the companies, they are stuck with some software, they cannot move forward, they're stuck with some people. How do you scale the businesses? That is one of the key things. Why we had the name as Skalable Technologies. And on this day, I remember our first client, which was a Shell-funded company, that is a biotech company based in San Francisco. And since then, we have worked with a lot of IPO companies. We have worked with bigger clients like Tesla Motors. We have worked with Barracuda Networks, Juniper. And however, I always believe even though we are a small team, we are a very effective team. And that's the reason why we have this huge publicly traded companies. They all rely on us, they depend on us for their services. And they don't look at the numbers. You're not the TCS or the Infosys or Wipro of the world, but we get things done, and that's what stands us apart. Having done that, I would like to take this opportunity again to thank Dr. Mohan Kandagaru, and I would like to have him have a few words. So before that, I'd like Shastri sir to hand over a bouquet.
Screen.